Welcome back. We are having our first conversation this morning, and as we promised, it's all about an upcoming conference called the Mental Health Wellness Project. We have here with us Azalea LaRue, and she is representing the Social Work Department and Faculty of Health Sciences with the University of Belize. And also here with us is Dr. Lisa Johnson, and she is the Dean and Faculty of Health Sciences, also with the University of Belize. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. We will also be joined momentarily by Dr. Carol Babb, and she'll also be having this conversation with us. Ladies, good morning again, and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you.
Good morning.
All right, well, let's talk a bit about the Mental Health Wellness Project. What is it, and why are we having this conversation?
All right, so it is a research conference.
Yeah.
Right, so it's an international research conference that we're having, and
It's not necessarily a project.
No.
Okay.
It's a conference. We try to have the conference each year.
Yeah.
This year, it's actually we're collaborating with California Baptist University. Right, they're giving a lot to the social work department as well, to the Faculty of Health Sciences. And so it's actually a lot bigger than what we usually have, right? So the aim of it is to bring together behavioral health practitioners, right? So it's an interdisciplinary field. It's not only social workers, but we're looking at all mental health practitioners, right? Psychologists. We're also looking at bringing in, working with the schools, education, teachers, right? Working with HR managers, right? So if you ask the reason behind it, right, one of the main reasons is to be able to give back to the community, right? The number one goal is actually to be able to offer scholarships for the Bachelor of Social Work program as well. So we have many, it's a very large program and a large agenda on May 3rd to May 4th. It's a 2 days conference. And we're actually ending with a cultural gala the night, right? Different types of fields we're looking at. So we actually have today with me, I have our dean, our very own dean, who is going to be on a panel discussion on emotional wellness. That will be happening the first day. The second day, we will be having a panel discussion moderated by myself on self-care, but actually on looking at how do we identify burnout? How do we identify compassion fatigue within an organizational perspective? All right, so I think it's definitely important to HR managers to come in to learn how can I make my place a bit more productive. Do you work with people? Yes, I do. Right? I want them to be well. How can I do that? Right? In the same way, emotional wellness. How do we respond instead of react to certain thing that occurs to us? Right?
You mentioned HR leaders. Who is this conference for? Who is it that we're seeking to target?
Right. So again, interdisciplinary field. So we're actually working with the Education Department, the Ministry of Education, and we're going to be offering continued professional development hours as well for teachers, school administrators, right? It's a mixture of research being presented, right? So it's now, in mental wellness, you need to always be keeping updated, right? Things change very quickly. So we'll have research being presented on different fields, domestic violence, to name a few, working with schools as well, adolescent behaviors during COVID-19. We have psychotherapists as well that will be presenting a research on here in Belize on psychotherapy and the use of psychotherapy and how often is that being used, right? Within that, we will have workshops, right? So we have different workshops. One of the main workshops that we have is on police as well. So how do we make sure police are well? So mental wellness for police officers, right? How can we screen for suicide within the police and military force, right? We'll be doing some work on the survival brain. I'm actually going to be doing a trauma-informed work dedicated to education, again, primary school, high school, So school counselors, we were glad to just yesterday work with the Ministry of Health, the licensing and accreditation unit, and we were granted 12 credit hours of continued education, and this is for all allied health workers, right? So when I say allied health, we're looking at counselors, school counselors, we're looking at psychologists, we're looking at social workers to come in, right? We're going to have another workshop on, I think it's like 4 or 5 workshops within the 2 days. And this workshop is dedicated to foster care.
Wow.
Right? With children in foster care, working with children in foster care.
So what are the ways in which this research information will be disseminated throughout the course of the conference? I think a lot of times when people hear a research conference, they get kind of scared, thinking, well, this may solely be an academic exercise, and I need some information on mental wellness, but I'm not sure that this is the right fit for me. How do you get around that barrier?
Right. So one of the main reasons for research is for us to be able to work with other people. So is my intervention being effective? You know, I can't work with the same old theories that we've been using since the 50s, the 40s, the 20s. But we use those and we're able to apply it to get statistical data, right? So that we're able to apply that whether or not is it working for my population. So we do have a lot of our partners from California Baptist University. These are mostly clinical social workers, licensed clinical social workers. They hold doctorate in social work, PhD in social work as well. But it's all under the theme of mental wellness.
Lovely. Let's get Dr. Johnson in the conversation, as you will be one of the speakers at this conference. What can we expect from your presentation?
Well, Mrs. LaRue assigned me, Mrs. LaRue and Ambassador Shabazz assigned me to participate in the panel discussion on wellness as it relates to nutrition. The overarching theme is that it's not just about the physical health. It is about the ultimate goal that any society should have, which is a completely packaged individual. And part of that completely packaged individual, functioning individual, participating individual, contributing individual, is that there are a number of different areas of our lives, all of us, that need to be at least at a certain standard. Or else things become out of kilter, they get off balance. And nutrition is one of them. And even more so, nutrition is becoming not only what appears to be the harbinger of a number of healthcare issues, but it also contributes to your function, your mental function, your emotional wellness, how you feel, how that is projected, how you perform. At the end of the day, as a manager myself and an administrator, it's about the performance of the people who you work with. To maximize someone's performance, they have to feel well, they have to be well,
Absolutely.
They have to come from a place of acceptance of themselves and their ability to perform. And in managing people and working with others and wanting to see others progress in their field, it's important that we are aware of the different things that affect an individual that you work with. We all have instances where we wake up in the morning and it's just not going to be a good day. You figure that out and so on. But going and eating the wrong thing may not necessarily be the best idea. What is the wrong thing for you?
That's a good question.
And so it's there are so many factors interwoven into the person that you face every morning, both in the mirror and when you interact with other members of society. Nutrition is one of them. Good nutrition, we are in a country with a lot of arable land, we produce high quality food, and it's accessible. And how do we make that accessible to everybody? And the importance that we place on it. You know, it's not only a matter of the individual's health, but food security.
Yeah.
We know that this is an important thing. So there are a lot of things to discuss when you look at the mental health perspective, and we haven't paid enough attention to it. And so the social work department of the University of Belize has taken this on as a project. This is not the first one. Last year also had mental health as a key topic for discussion.
Clearly what you're saying is that what you consume can affect your mental wellness.
Yes, yes.
Yes, 100%. That's
High quality food, and of course the things that affect you cognitively, or disrupt your ability to function.
That's an interesting correlation. I want to take the conversation over to Dr. Carol Babb, because I think oftentimes when we think of wellness, we don't include financial wellness in that conversation.
Yeah,
Yes.
as well.
And we know you, Dr. Carol Babb, for being an advocate for understanding financial literacy. Let's talk about your inclusion.
I was like on the edge just now because I wanted to jump on Dr. Johnson. Because yes, we have to eat properly, we have to exercise, and we have to do all those things. However, I read that there was a research done in the United States, and it was revealed that 70% of the people who are stressed out are caused by not managing their finance or the lack thereof. So many times when we think of mental health, mental wellness, we don't always think of financial wellness.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And financial wellness is so important. We have to think about our financial well-being. Paul, if you broke, you not be the most productive person on open your eyes. Your manager might have to call you and say, Paul, what is your problem? And if you are honest, you say, you know what, the light bill man just cut me light out. How can you be productive? So financial wellness is about how do you help this person to be well, to be fit, to be at peace. Most importantly, we can't be at peace. We can't be ourselves if we can't meet our bills. We are not saving. There are many other things that we are not doing. So financial wellness is a very, very important part of mental health.
So what can those who attend expect when engaging your sessions?
So if you want to become financially well, you must become financially literate. By becoming financially literate, it means you must save regularly, you must budget, you must develop an emergency fund. Too many times we have people, your family member become ill, we can't even take them to the doctor because we don't have an emergency fund. You know, so there are many things. We need to look at our financial wellness and make smart goals. So these are the things that we are going to talk about. Saving smart, developing smart goals, budgeting, an important part of our financial wellness. Too many times we don't know where our money is going.
Yeah.
We get paid today. Paul say, somebody must thief my money.
You know what?
You know that's the famous thing, or I must drop this money, but you not drop it, but you did not account for it.
You know what happens though, Dr. Carol? A lot of times when they get paid, all of a sudden your palate changes and you feel for something a little pricier than usual.
Filet mignon.
Exactly. So my question to you is this really, I mean, when talking about financial wellness, how do we begin? Because a lot of persons would tell you, you know, Dr. Carol, I just don't make enough money. But is it about not making enough money or not understanding how to spend what you have?
Exactly, and it's the second part. It's the second part. It's not about not making enough money. It's about managing your money. I was at a police department training in Corozal. There was a police officer who was angry. You the talk about save, I can't save, you don't know how much I make. I said to him, come and sit with me. Tell me how much you earn. I am sure that there are things that you are spending on that is not financially wise.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a discipline. It's something that can be taught, that can be learned, but you have to be prepared. You have to have that mindset. Throw away can't. Too many times we can't, and then we move on and think that's an excuse. It's not an excuse.
See, I'm of the firm belief that your income is your greatest tool for wealth. I think about last year, and I think about last year because earlier this year, me and my wife, we started to budget, and how that has affected our mental wellness. It has made us more well. We're better mentally because of budgeting. Now we're seeing where our money goes. We have established an emergency fund, like you said, and because we basically compartmentalize each areas of our lives that where expenses are concerned, we're able to pay off some of those debts. And the more you understand financial literacy, it affects a lot of areas of your life, and you realize it affects how you work, your mental health in your work, your mental health in your home. It all connects. It all connects.
And people who are financially well, Dr. Johnson, they are ill, really ill, physically and mentally ill. They need, I have a headache. They come to work early in the morning. So if employers want their employees to be most productive, help them to become financially well.
Indeed.
In addition to what Dr. Johnson and Ms. LaRue have said.
But how do you do that from an employer standpoint? When
First of all, you must train. That's a part of HR, the HR role, I believe, to ensure that your employees get the training that they need to become most productive in the workplace. Too many times, we just complain, oh, Paul, him come to work late, Paul, this, that, and we're ready to fire Paul. But we do not spend the time to find out why is he like that? What is his problem? How can I help Paul to be more productive?
Yeah, I like that we've touched on nutrition, which is super relevant, and we've also touched on finances. I am intrigued at this point in time. Let's talk a bit more about some of the other topics and the other conversations, or perhaps highlight some of the other speakers that will be there for this conference.
Right, so as I mentioned, we do have domestic violence. We're going to be talking about domestic violence, research on domestic violence, and also a workshop on domestic violence. A lot of this, and if we look at the wellness wheel, I don't know if you're familiar with it, we do have different dimensions of wellness, and it includes financial wellness, right? It includes environmental wellness, it includes physical wellness, and that one we know very good, right? Emotional, psychological wellness. So a lot of these areas will be touched on during the conference, right? One of the things that we fail to see at times is that there are multiple of professionals that can help you to be well within that, right? For example, social workers. I'm so glad that we're able to get a lot of our clinical social workers that are coming in, a lot of our professors that are coming in, because in the United States, social workers is one of the #1 profession that covers mental health, right? So when it comes to psychotherapy, it's one of the #1 professions. Now, we cannot do that without the help of other professionals, right? And that is the #1 there, that we want to bring in psychologists, we want to bring in and work with school counselors as well. So we're going to be talking about CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. How do we use cognitive behavioral therapy as well within our practice? How can that help? And I think insurance companies need to be aware of that, right? Because insurance companies are actually the head of our health, right? They're paying for this, and if they don't know what they're paying for, they won't be able to help.
That's true.
So they need to be able to understand the different professionals and what they can do, what they can offer.
So when is the conference going to be held? Let's talk about the time, the place, and is there any possibility that persons like myself and Paul can attend?
Definitely. It is open to all. We're going to be talking about parenting as well, parenting tactics. How do we work with our children, right? The brain, how do we connect that with behavior? We have our keynote speaker, Ambassador Shabazz, that will be coming in as well. And she is very well known in terms of her different work that she's been doing, advocacy. Right, we have Mr. Fermin Oliveira as another one of our keynote speaker that you're seeing, and the keynote speaker is he's going to be talking overall on social work as well. So it's going to be May 3rd to May 4th. It's 2 days. It's packed. You're able to choose which workshop, which presentation you want to attend.
Wonderful.
Right, so you're not just on that one thing. So it depends what you want. We also have palliative care, working with the elderly. So if you're someone that would be working with the elderly and want to learn more about how do I do that, or just caring for an elderly individual at your home, right?
Is there a cost associated with attending?
Yes, and remember, the biggest thing is bringing in scholarship opportunities.
Okay.
So currently we actually have California Baptist University giving a scholarship to one of our students in the Bachelor of Social Work program. With this conference, we're hoping that we're not only going to be able to give a one semester scholarship, but we're going to be able to give a full scholarship.
Wow.
So the cost of this is $150 per day, right? And then $75 for the cultural gala. We are asking for individuals, for organizations, larger organizations. Some already, they have pledged that they will give the sponsorship, but the sponsorship will be used for scholarship so that we can have teachers coming in. We can have school counselors coming in. Right?
Wonderful. So there seems to be something for almost everyone in this conference. I want to say kudos to the University of Belize for organizing such an initiative. I think it's great and it's much needed at this time.
I think we want to
Yes.
acknowledge California Baptist University. They are a co-sponsor, right, Ms. LaRue?
Yes, and they have been, I've been working with them for a couple years now.
Right.
Right? And
And that team is being led by a Belizean,
Wow,
Dr.
wonderful.
Kendra Carter Lopez.
Wonderful.
Flores.
Flores.
Are there any other sponsors that have supported this event?
Yes, we do have a few sponsors that we have. Some of them are sponsors that we've had all the time. You know, every year that I ask for something, they're there, they're willing to help, right? We do have Avant-Garde, which is a media company. They'll be helping with all the media and everything else that goes with audio visuals. We have with us Grace that gave us Travelers. Actually, for the gala night, we're actually going to have a cocktail coming in.
Very nice.
Right? So we're very glad to be able to work with them. The University of Belize has been one of my biggest support, I think, as well. So they're there, they're assisting with financially as well, California Baptist University, Carol Bob,
Peacework
Belize as well. We do have some other larger organizations as sponsors that have come in, and hopefully we'll be having a few more that
Wonderful.
will be working along with us. So
Excellent.
we're-
Thank you, ladies, for stopping by, giving us a bit more information on what we can expect at this Wellness Project conference. We wish you all the best, and we hope to see you there as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation switches into climate resilient and sustainable agriculture project for farmers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.